Hey guys, I hope you're all well. Welcome back to the channel. For those who don't know me, my name is Qasim Ackrim. I'm a now 19-year-old entrepreneur and e-com marketing agency owner. And for a lot of my viewers, I know you would have missed me for the last God knows how many months I've been off YouTube. So my apologies, I took that long of a break. It was mainly because my Instagram got taken down by someone and I used that as an excuse to just stop posting. So that was my bad. But I'm back to it, so you'll be glad to see that I'm going to be back on YouTube with some very, very exciting things to come. I've had a few light bulb moments in the last couple of weeks, which kind of drove me to be back on YouTube because these light bulb moments were such good ideas that I just couldn't let them go. And I will talk about them as the time goes on. I just kind of want to ferment them, and I kind of want to make sure that they're going to happen before I talk about them. But they're pretty awesome. Like, I'm sure you guys will love it. Regardless, welcome back. We're here. So today I wanted to come back with a video. I have many videos I'm going to make, but today I want to come back with the first video of my comeback. I wanted to make a video that is going to be a lot more profound and personal. I was debating whether to make it about something about the business, about 𝐷 𝐬𝐧𝐸 𝐭𝐚𝐦 agency, but I wanted today's video to be a very profound video that would hit home for a lot of you guys and really give you guys some real life advice. So I'm sure, as you've seen the title, today I'm going to be talking about my biggest 3 takeaways and my biggest 3 lessons learned from the start of the age of 18 to the end. As many of you guys will know, if you don't know, that age for me, that year was by far the exponential growth, the explosion of my life. I had a bit of success before 18, when I was 17, but when I turned 18, I came to Dubai. I started the year in Dubai. I travelled the world and had these crazy experiences, and that taught me a lot. And then I ended the year in Dubai. So on my 19th birthday, I came back to Dubai, and I've been here ever since. So yeah, it's been an absolutely incredible year that I'm extremely grateful for. Not just because of what I experienced, but also what I learned after the fact. So as the new year came, I reflected a lot on the last year. I realised a lot of things, which is of course what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm sure you guys are going to love this because it's the kind of thing where these lessons, if you guys really take notice to them and take action on them, if you're aware of the stuff that I've been through, then when you guys find success, which I'm sure you will, at a very young age especially, because I know a lot of my viewers are young, yeah, you guys are. This is going to be some powerful stuff. So let's get started. So first of all, I want to put upon you a Stoic phrase which I saw the other day. I think it's actually a book as well. Ego is the enemy. And my God, have I experienced that in the last year. I learned that statement is the most truthful thing I've ever heard. So ego for me was the biggest takeaway from last year. I want to make this one first because it's the most important for me. Ego was such a prevalent thing in my life that I didn't actually realise as the year went on. So as I was living through the year, I had no idea that my ego was not just inflated, but it clouded. And this is something that ego does. Ego clouds the fact that you are egotistical. That ego will then cloud and create and just be destructive. It's by far the most destructive character trait any man or woman can have. And I learned that in the last year because of how much it destroyed relationships, my life in some parts. Obviously, when I say my life, I don't mean my day-to-day was affected. That's one thing that ego does to you. It doesn't let you realise how in the short term your life's being affected, but because you just ego just thinks about yourself. That's one big part of ego. You just think about yourself and the now. You just think, okay, it's not actually affecting me right now. I can still live my life and go out and buy some stuff or just have good experiences. Doesn't make a difference to me. And that was such a prevalent thing in my life that effed up a lot of things, and I'll explain them in the next few minutes. The reason why it was a problem, I initially want to tell you guys why it came about, and I know this is something that I want to tell you guys because I want you to be aware of it as well. For me, on reflection, I had a lot of realizations in the last few weeks since the new year, and the reason, in my opinion, which my ego took control of my life in the last year was because all of my success was thrown at me at such a young age with no life experience whatsoever. The money, the experiences, I had such an open mind as a young kid, at 17 and 18, so I had no limits when it comes to what I would be doing. I didn't say, nah, I'm just gonna stay at home. I'd prefer to stay inside. When I made some money, I did everything I could dream of doing. I didn't hold back. I used every bit of money I could. I wasted a lot of money. I don't even want to say how much money I wasted on things that I'd never see back. And I wasted relationships, I wasted time, but at the end of the day, make sure you guys know that even though I did do all this wasting of many things, for it all to happen in 1 year at the age of 18, which is going to happen to a lot of you guys as well. I know a lot of my students and a lot of my viewers who are watching are my age or my age 2 years ago or a year ago. If not, it doesn't even matter, it's the same thing. I'm very, very grateful that it happened at the age of 18 rather than taking me into my 20s and even 30s. So yeah, that's for me. And also the other big part was that the fact that I had no real guidance, and that was a big part my fault as well. I didn't look to my parents for any guidance whatsoever. My ego, whenever I had a problem, an internal problem, an external problem, I would never tell anybody. I had nobody in my life up until recently, very recently, that I could tell my problems to. I kept it all to myself. I thought with my parents, they don't need to know. They never cared about me. This is not what I think now, but this is what I thought. I thought, they don't care. They never wanted to care because they never really were supportive of my business initially. And then any problem that I had, any issue that I went through, any experiences that I was having that were not nice, that I wanted to talk to somebody about, I just kept it to myself. My ego made my mind think that, okay, you have a problem, you'll fix it yourself. Nobody needs to know. Just act like everything's fine. Never tell anybody anything. And that was the most prevalent thing. Like I'm gonna keep saying the most prevalent thing because all this stuff was so prevalent in my life. I just didn't realize it at the time. This was a huge thing that just kept happening all the time. Every single problem. I'm talking every single problem that I had, small or big. I'd never told anybody any of it. So that's one thing to learn about. Please find somebody and know that there is people to talk to about your problems. Never keep it to yourself. Never let your ego cloud your judgment on when you think, okay, should I actually talk to somebody about this problem? Because if you don't, not just stay a problem, it will also eat at you, and you'll just kind of put it off, but eventually it will come back to bite you in the arse, really badly as well. And I've learned this. I learned this a lot of times. It was fine for the whole year where I was living my life, enjoying my life, as you guys would have seen on my Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, I was living an amazing life. But as I was living that life, I had so many internal problems, and also external problems as well, that I effed up in a lot of ways. You know, I burnt relationships because one big problem that I'll say now is that my communication, ego kind of coincides with that, kind of not telling anybody your problems. Communication was such an issue for me. I didn't communicate with anybody about anything. Literally, if there was business partners or best people I was in business with or doing anything with, or my friends, I never communicated anything. I just leave it. And obviously what that does is it allows people to be in their own thoughts, because they don't know your side of the story, which is the story. They don't know what you're thinking, so that they will in turn make up their own mind on what's happening. And then if the longer you leave that, the more they think that's reality. And when they really think that's reality, that turns everybody against you in a way that I don't even want to talk about. With friends, what I thought my closest friend group was, I let a thought stay in their mind for so long that it then came to them actually thinking it was reality. So it's a huge problem, guys. I want you to realise. This is the second point I want you to realise. Communication is so key with everything, not just with telling your problems, but just in general. Communicate with people, guys, please. With your parents, if you have a problem, if you are thinking about something, if somebody gave you something you haven't given them back or anything like that, just please communicate. All the time. Just give updates, anything. Just always be clear communication, always be transparent. The longer you leave something, the worse it's going to get for you, and I've learned that so badly this year. But yeah, I just want to see if any more profound problems that I really want to tell you. Oh yeah, next problem, this is really important, is I never prioritised my own life, and I'll talk about this a bit more in the third point that I have. I never prioritised what I really wanted. I never ever thought, okay, what do I want? I thought, okay, what will either make me more money, or what will just push my problems under the rug? And I hope that makes sense, but I know it's a bit confusing. But the biggest thing to take away from this was I never thought about other people's opinions, thoughts. I never cared what anybody else thought. So if a decision that I make, which isn't what I really prioritise, so obviously what you prioritise in life, which is majority of you guys, is family, health, wealth, not in a bad way, but in a good way. That's what you're to prioritise. But for me, it was enjoyment and pleasure. And the short-term pleasure, not long-term, thinking about the future, what's going to happen next year. I was thinking what's going to happen tomorrow or today. So this is what I mean by I never prioritised anything. I always felt a FOMO with my friend group. Whenever somebody would say something's going to happen, I would never think, okay, my business is going to be affected right now if I don't actually do this work and I go out, but fuck it, I'm going to go out anyway. So there was a lot of things like this where I had a lot of problems that came up, and things that came up in my life that I wanted to do. My friends would tell me to come out and do something which I really just didn't need to do. I had something that I needed to do in my business. I needed to talk to somebody else about a problem that I had. But I'd always when you live the life that I live and that I lived in last year, there's something always going on. You have a really good friend group, you have a really good life network, there's always some party or some event, some meetup going on, just going out for no reason. And I'd always choose that over facing my own problems. I'd push every problem I had under the rug. And that's another big thing that I want you guys to realise. A third big thing, apart in this ego section, I want you guys to realise that please write down your priorities and stick to them. Please stick to them. Don't feel a FOMO if your friends are inviting you out or saying to do something and you don't want to do it. You have something else in your priority list that you want to do first. The more you do stuff like that, and I see that in my friends, some very good friends, probably my best friend, I've seen that in him so much, but I thought he was weird for doing this. But then now I'm realising that, my God, that is what a real man does. He prioritises what he has to do. If it's for his family or his business or his life or his loved ones, if he has something to do with them first, he will do that first and then go out and enjoy if he has the time. He doesn't prioritise enjoyment or pleasure. So that's one big thing, guys. Please, as you find success, or any time in life, just please prioritise what is the priority for you, what is the most important thing for you. What I say is write down a list of them, keep it with you, maybe print it or put it on the wall, however works for you. Keep it there and just keep looking at them every time you want to make a decision. Look at your priority list. Okay, does this align with my priorities? And if it doesn't, just don't do it. Just stick to your priorities. It's going to be so much more worth it in the long run. So yeah, there's a lot of problems. I can probably make a whole video on my problems. I can sit down with you guys for hours and talk about the problems I had last year, but I don't want this video to go over 20 minutes, so I'm going to move on. Those are I gave you kind of 3 big things that I want you to kind of realise. Maybe the next big thing that I want to give you just to end this ego section, because this ego section can be a whole video, and if you want it to be a whole video, if you feel like it's something that's prevalent in your life that you want me to talk about, I 100% can. I want to be as vulnerable as I can with you guys so that you don't have the same problems that I did at 18, because I know that there's nobody really else in the world or in this space that can give you this advice. As an 18-year-old, as a 19-year-old now obviously, but as when I was 18, I experienced so much, and so much was thrown at me that I have a lot of lessons learned from that other people won't have the same lessons that they learn from at such a young age. Somewhat unique perspective that I want to share with you guys. I don't want to hold it back. It's very, very important for me that you guys get the most out of me and the experiences that I've had, because I didn't just live those experiences for myself, I lived it for you guys too. I want you guys to learn from them, take from them, and use it to better your own life and fast track your own journey and success. So yeah, last thing I'll leave you with is please respect your time and money. Understand that you don't have all the time in the world. Please don't do this thing where you just push it under the rug or just say I'll do it tomorrow. I still do it to this day. I'll do it tomorrow, but I can see my good friends, people who I looked up to, people who I aspire to be in some ways, they don't ever do this thing where I'll do it tomorrow. They just say, if the people are inviting them out in the next hour, they say, okay, I'll be an hour late, I'm going to do this thing first and then come. Or they make their plans around what they prioritise. This goes back to the priority thing. If you have something that is your priority for your business or your work, which is your business of course, or anything like that, your family time, whatever, fitness is a good one as well. If you have any of this stuff, please do not push it under the rug and say I'll do it tomorrow, and instead just go and enjoy yourself and have a little bit of dopamine or hedonism or pleasure. It's not worth it at all. If the earlier on you have some discipline with this stuff, the better your life's going to be by far. Discipline is a huge point that I learned last year. The more discipline you have, the better man or woman you will be, the more successful you will be, the faster your journey will go, the more amazing things you will do. So discipline, if you want to put that on the screen right now, discipline is so incredibly important, and I hadn't really any of it last year, which is a big problem that I had. It effed up a lot of things. So yeah, guys, just focus on your discipline, build it up with small little things. I'll maybe make a video on discipline as well, because what I'm saying in this video is going to be very profound, so there's a lot of things I can go in deeper with. So if you guys hear something that I say and you want me to go deeper with it, just please comment and I'll make a video deeper on it. I have no problems with that whatsoever. And obviously if you're one of my students as well, if you have any points you want to bring up to me in one of our calls that we have regularly, just please do bring it up to me, and we'll talk about it in a bit more depth. So yeah, that's the last thing I'll leave you with for this ego section. The next part is a bit more about business and efficiency in life. So the next part is a big part of fast tracking your journey is turn your business into a machine, and the two things: turn your business into a machine and find ways to live for free. So two big parts there that you probably will think, how the fuck do you do any of them? So the first one, let's talk about the first one: how to turn your business into a machine. I did that last year, and it allowed me to live the life that I lived last year, which allowed me to live all these experiences, the things that I learned from these fuck ups. That I wouldn't have ever had any of the stuff that made me progress my life character wise and personality wise. I would have never had this stuff if I just focused on my business and kind of sat and always worked 10 hours a day in my business. And the people who do that are either going to go very far, or they're either most of the time, 99% of the time, they're people who are just focusing their time on the complete wrong things. But they just, in their mind, they're thinking they are focusing on the right things. They're not delegating, they're not systemizing, they're not creating systems and processes. processes and hiring in the right way. So they're doing a lot of the tasks in their business, they're doing a lot of things in their business or their life and their work that they shouldn't be doing. They have some sort of pride in that they work 10 hours a day. They're like showing it off, they're like putting it in their Instagram stories that, oh, I'm in the office again from God knows when, from the sunrise to sunset, whatever it may be. You want to steer far away from that kind of lifestyle and that pride of working long hours a day. If you're working long hours a day, you want to be this kind of person. And I learned this from a recent mentor that I found and a good friend. You want to learn that you want to be the person who can work 10 hours, 10, 20 hours, not 20 hours a day, obviously, 10 to 15 hours a day, but not give a shit about telling anybody. But you also want to be the person who, if you don't feel like it today and you can, and you should be able to, you can just cancel all your meetings and not turn up to them and live a good life. You want to be that person who can do both sides and not ever worry about showing off to anybody or having it a big effect on you. And the only way that shit cannot have an effect on you if you take the whole day off your meetings or just not do any work for a couple of days, have some good times, have some good experiences, or meet some new people. The only way you can do that is if you systemize your business in a way that is running and maintaining without you being at it constantly, without you constantly messaging your employees or your team members, what's going on with this, what's going on with that. You want to create systems in each part of your business, especially, obviously, I run an agency, which is my, that's what I got experience in, but this philosophy and this way of running business is universal. It can run in any business. So if you learn from early on stage that you need to systemize and make your business into a money making machine, then you'll then be able to live a good life without worrying, without you cannot have a sort of spectrum where your good life is here and your business is here, and you can't your good life will be at a detriment to your business. You don't want to live that kind of life. You want your life to kind of be that maybe the business won't grow for a couple of days or a month, but maybe I can enjoy myself and have some good experiences, and I can grow myself personally, not just business wise. And that's for me one thing I've learned in the last year, that growing yourself personally is so important. It's much more important than business, in my opinion, because if you can grow yourself personally, character wise, personality wise, mindset wise, you can succeed at any time. Business and money will always be there, but the time to grow yourself and personal development, you'll lose that very quickly. Like if you're mid-20s, late 20s, you've lost out in 10 years of growing yourself and progressing your life much faster than anybody else. So if you do this at an early age, obviously for all you guys who are under 20, doesn't really matter what age you are, whatever age you are, my big advice is to focus on yourself first. Worry about the business maybe secondary to yourself. As obviously there's a little bit like kind of leeway there. Like obviously you need some money to live, maybe about 10-20k a month, and then from there on don't put all of your mind into business. Maybe then take the time off but take the time and prioritize your own self-development. Read books, the right books. If you guys want a reading list, I can give it to you. Listen to people who are very smart in the world, some very influential and strong people that I can also give you a list of. A big one is Naval Ravikant. He's a big one that a lot of my friends look up to, as well as myself. So yeah, personal development is huge. It's very, very huge. It's kind of like I kind of strayed away from the main point, but the reason I want to talk about turning your business into a machine is not for the sake of making more money. It's for the sake of you need that time at your early stages of making money to really grow yourself personally. So yeah, I hope that makes sense for you guys. Don't want to go too deep into that. If you want me to go deep into that, of course I'll make another video on it. Next one is find ways to live for free. Now this, I'm not going to lie, is definitely a bit more of being able to live your materialistic desires, but not at a cost to your lifestyle or your business. So my biggest blessing in the last year is that everything that you've seen me do or buy or experience has not been at a cost of my business's profits. Maybe sometimes here and there, not going to say at all. Like I've used some business profits, of course, but the majority of time I have found ways to either live for free or somewhat for free. And the way that I've done it myself, there's many ways to do this. Real estate, cash flow businesses that you don't actually pay attention to, kind of like on the side hustles, affiliate things, affiliate marketing, whatever else. There's a lot of things you can do, but for me it was crypto. I found crypto at an early stage in my journey. I had a lot of good friends who were doing very well in it, so I took kind of inspiration and advice from them. And I learned many ways of making money in crypto, and I found my own way, which is my own style of trading and investing. Even though I did cock up, I did kind of like mess up in my investments, etc. It was something that I'll totally be vulnerable with you guys with. I really did mess up with a lot of my investments. It didn't affect my life in the short term, but in the long term, I maybe would have, rather than making 3 million, I made half of that or less than that. So yeah, that's something I want to make you guys aware of. I may make a lot of money, but a lot of that money I messed up with investing in the last year, and that was mainly because of my ego, which is something that I want to go into detail with you guys. I want to kind of take my lessons learned and my mistakes. I want to tell you guys so you don't make the same mistakes when it comes to investing, especially in crypto. Crypto's a fucking cutthroat sort of place to get into, put your money into. But if you do it right, it's going to be the place that's going to change your life forever. But if you do it wrong, it's going to be the place that puts you back to kind of square one with your wealth. This way of living, it's called the investor's mindset, as I recently saw, and I quite like this tweet that I put on my story one time. People should aspire to be in the investor's mindset, which is, how do I not work and how do I live for free? And the way you do that is with your investments / like kind of sort of side hustles or sort of semi things like trading. For example, trading was my thing, where I didn't need to put too much effort into it, but the effort I put into it made me a lot of money, and all that money was stuff that it's free money. Let's be honest, crypto is free money. It's not real investment. You'd have to buy real estate or put your effort into real estate and build it up and all that kind of stuff. Crypto you can buy a coin and it can do a crazy like 30x, 10x, or even 2x. It's doubling your money for nothing. Don't take crypto as something that will is too important in your life. Make sure it's a thing where you're putting money into that stuff where you can 100% lose it. You want to build up your lifestyle from your profits first. Be able to live off your profits, but then choose not to live off your profits. Put the profits in investments the right way, and then live for free from your investments. For example, I think you can do, which a couple of friends are doing, who have a lot of money that they haven't wasted like me. They have a lot of money in yield programs, yield apps. So what you can do with crypto is you can hold a coin, and that coin will just pay you back a very nice interest rate, or just rate back. And they can live for free. They make $1K a day, $500 a day from just leaving their money rather than in a bank or in a business. They just leave it in there, and they can live their life for free, and they can focus on their business investments the business profits can go towards investments, bettering the business, investing in new businesses, investing in new projects, whatever else. Your life will accelerate much faster if you have this mindset of you want to find a way to live for free, and also make your business into a machine, so that you're not doing nothing, but you're doing a lot less than everybody else is. You're only needing to work the few hours a day that really make a difference to your business, rather than needing to work a few hours a day just to maintain your business. I guess the last point. So point number 3 is something that I touched on before. Stick to your mission and who you really are, no matter what. So 2 big things here. So first, stick to your mission. Your mission, you should kind of have a mission. You should kind of write it down for yourself. Always write it down for yourself very early on in your journey. Mission might change for 100%. It might. You might have a different perspective on things, which is something that I've learned. My mission before was just to make money, but now my mission is much deeper than that, which is something that I can go into later on. Not in this video, but another video. So my mission has changed over time and become more profound, become more valuable to the world. But whatever your mission is, make it your mission. Make it not just your goal. Call it your mission, your soul's mission, your life's mission, to do this task, to do this, to hit this number of money, or just change your family's life, or whatever it may be. But please don't make your mission to buy cars. That's one thing I've learned in the last year. Please not make your mission in life to buy your new Lamborghini or your new G-Wagon or whatever it may be. Please, that should not be your only goal in life, is that, I just really want this car, or I really want that car. If one thing I've learned in the last year, cars are so, they're a lot of fun, but they're just, you can so easily live without a car. They're not that cool. I'm totally honest. I love cars. I love driving so much. I really do it. I love driving to the point where I'm going on a Europe road trip this summer. But cars are something that will not actually provide much value to your life. They will give you some happiness and some dopamine. Honestly, you can just and you should just please focus your mission around something that isn't too materialistic. Making money to begin with is okay. Because you might not know really what you want. So, and a good starting point to know what you want is to have the money and to have the freedom. Because the money equals freedom. That freedom is what can give you the clarity and the mental clarity to think, okay, what do I want in life? So that's a big point as well. Initially, if you have the goal of making 10k a month, that's okay. Don't think that's a bad thing. It's not an amazing thing, but don't put importance on that too much. If it's a materialistic mission or goal, please do not put too much importance on it. Say my goal for me, one big problem for me last year was when I started out, actually, way back in the start of the journey, I had this importance of hitting 10k a month. The number 10k was so important to me for some reason, and I had this fear, and that importance creates a fear, and that fear creates procrastination, and that's one big thing which made me waste 7 months. Even though it was a waste, I learned a lot from it. So to avoid wasting any time of doing nothing in business or just not really moving forward. You want to avoid having this importance over materialistic goals, cars, money, lifestyle, anything like that. You want to kind of steer a bit away from that when you choose what your mission and goal is. But whatever it is, you know, if you took my advice or not, stick to your mission and never steer away from it. This again goes back to the priority thing. Make your mission your priority, obviously alongside your family, your health and that kind of stuff, but your mission is a big priority. So if you're about to make a decision or do an action that's kind of your mission is this, like this way, and you're this action, or you're just going out or just going to a party or going on a holiday, kind of makes you go from like this and like or like that, which is trust me, like my mission was like this last year, and I went like this. I went like all the way around, probably like up over there right now, and I just recently came back in towards to try and be aligned with it. Just please stick to your mission and write it down, keep it in front of you, look at it every single day, every time you wake up, every time you're about to do work, every time you meditate. Have your mission there and never stay away from it. Make that your priority and make decisions based off what your mission is, and prioritize that. And the second point is who you really are. So who you really are is a point where I've seen in a few friends recently. People just don't know who they are and what they really want, which is also a big part of their mission thing. Like if you have a mission, you can kind of know who you are a bit deeper level. But who you really are thing is a kind of thing where you don't really know what you want out of life. You don't really know who you are personally. The problem that this might come from this is that you might get influenced too easily by other people. You might not live life for yourself, but live life for other people's pleasure. And it's something that I did last year completely, for 100%. My dad would tell me this from a young age, but I never actually realised it until very recently, that I'd live my life not for myself all the time, even though I did get pleasure out of it, of course, because it was with my friends. But I'd live life based off other people's perspectives, like, you know, ways of thinking about life. I've lived life and be too influenced by their way of life. But I didn't really know what I wanted out of my own life. I never lived by it, because my one thing is my that goes back to the thing where I said I had a FOMO of going out, and I thought that this would never happen again. This is such a good opportunity. But let's be honest, parties and going out and getting drunk are so useless, but they will always be there. They will like, please not think that a party or meeting some cool guy that really will give no value to you is a one time in life thing. Like, I've learned that, where I've met a lot of cool people, done a lot of really cool things at a young age, but these things can be done anytime within the next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. There's no rush to have all this stupid enjoyment. So don't think that you need to have the next enjoyment, the next big thing, next big party, next big getting drunk and getting fucked up in a different place, Mykonos, you know, Ibiza, wherever it may be. Just please go back to your mission and think, okay, does this getting fucked up, I can do it once, but if I've already experienced this and I know I don't like it, but all my friends who aren't on the same wavelength, don't have the same perspective as me, this is their life, getting fucked up and getting drunk and enjoying life, that's their life. But for me, I have a mission, I have a purpose, I want to go towards that mission. So I've already experienced this stuff, going to a party. So does this going to a party again, is it really going to like pull me towards my mission or give me real enjoyment? Not really. It may give you some short-term enjoyment while you're drunk, but honestly, after the fact, you're just gonna be like, why did I do that? And I've had that so many times in the last year that you don't actually understand. Where the fact that after it, I'd be like, well, what a waste of time. Even though it was a bit of fun in the meantime, it was such a waste of time. So yeah, that's one big thing that I'd recommend you stick to forever. Stick to your mission and know who you are. And also a big part of knowing who you are is, a big lesson that I learned is, you need to find a way to keep your mind still and clear for at least, you know, a good part of your day. You can't always have your mind racing and constantly influenced by other people and constantly worrying about the next thing. You need to have some time in the day, every single day, I'm talking every single day, you need to have some time in the day where you're just still thinking about your own goals, thinking about your own life. And the best way to do this is meditating. Something that I very recently learned and looked into heavily is meditating. You know, it was something that I used to say, like, oh, I used to meditate, but honestly my meditation was just like, I'd just meditate for 10 minutes a day and it'd be pretty useless. But the meditation that I'm saying to do is a form of just keeping your mind still for a good part of the day. For me, it's an hour a day, split up between the day, not just an hour at one time, but an hour throughout the day where I'm still. I just don't have things I need to worry about. I'm just thinking about, okay, what do I want to be? How's the day went? How do I improve the next day? Stuff like that. It's extremely important to make sure that time doesn't just fly by and you're thinking, oh shit, I accomplished nothing in the last year. Which is, even though I didn't accomplish nothing the last year, I have this thought come back in my mind where, like, shit, like, I wasted so much time, and I could have done so much more with my time. I could have set myself up like massively to the point where I could have been so set up for life, but I decided to choose enjoyment over it, and my ego was obviously a big part of that. But all the stuff that I'm mentioning to you right now, the big point, the last line I'll give to you guys is have a mission, stick to it. realise that ego is such a prevalent thing in everybody's life. Try to be conscious of the stuff that I've said to you just now in this video about my problems when it came to my ego. Make sure you don't fall down the same trap that I fell down the whole last year. That made me do a lot of things wrong. My money, my life, my relationships, even my parents, my anything, my family, anything. I messed up a lot of things. Even now it's getting a lot better and it's fine. Like, don't think it's forever, but I did waste a lot of time and ruined a lot of relationships and burnt a lot of bridges that shouldn't have been burnt and shouldn't have been ruined. So yeah, if that's the line I'm going to leave you with, then please stick to your mission. Be conscious of your ego. Try to be as humble and be still as much as you can throughout your day and your life. And that word discipline is such a powerful word that is going to be so important for you getting to where you want to be and even past where you want to be. Having discipline in what you really want to do is something that, if you have discipline, my God, you will go so far, further than anybody else in the world. Because people can say they have discipline, but real discipline is just the fact where, like, if you live your life only doing what will really put you towards your mission, then you will that's not maybe a fun life, but it's a life that will really go far, if you get what I mean. So you want to get as close to that as you can, obviously with some enjoyment in the way, some cool experiences, but you want to go have the discipline that keeps you on your mission the whole way through your life, and you'll see how much you'll accomplish. So yeah guys, this video has gone long overboard. I may split this up into two parts, expand on different parts, because this video has gone for like 30 minutes now. But thank you guys for listening. I hope you found that valuable. I rambled on in some parts, but this video wasn't a structured thing. This video was just, I wanted to speak from the heart. I wanted to be vulnerable. I wanted to really tell you guys what I've experienced in the last year. I hope you guys enjoyed. Of course, just get in touch with me if you want to talk about any of this. I'll leave my Instagram link in the bio, my new Instagram, if you haven't followed me already. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Much love. It's good to be back on YouTube. A lot of good things are coming for you guys that I'll talk about in the next few weeks or a few days, whenever it's posted, on my Instagram as well as my YouTube. But yeah, I've got some really cool things planned it's going to be change the whole game. I don't know what to say. I don't want to sound corny or cheesy, but it's going to do a madness. Like, I'm really excited for it. So yeah, I'm excited. Hope you guys are too, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Much love.